Hey, what's up everybody, Commander Radix here, bringing you another video. That's right, we have multiple angles this time. Aren't I professional? I'm not professional. This is a little experiment to see how we're gonna do this with multiple cameras. Do I need multiple cameras? Not really, no. But I figured, you know, I'm talking to many people, and it's a little bit more interactive for me, at least, to be talking to people, to feel like I'm talking to people because I'm looking at two things instead of just looking at my wall, hoping to die. Today, I'm going to give a little update on something I clued you guys in on, but that makes it sound like it's intriguing. Something I told you guys about in 2018, I think, and that was I write fan fiction. Not only do I write fan fiction, I write original fiction, and not only do I write original fiction, but it's all in one universe. All my fanfic and all my original fiction share a universe, which, you know, you can get into the semantics as to whether or not the original fic can be called original fic and not just a whole bunch of OCs in a fanfic universe, but I call it a hybrid fic, because it's a hybrid. I started it when I was in kindergarten, and I just kept going from there. It started off as a comic, and then later became text stories and so on, until we are where we are today, with this universe that's called the Kalamos Mythos. It used to be called the Cuckoo Universe, but no one could take that term seriously. So I made a video about that in 2018, and I highly recommend you watch that video, because I explain what my universe is in that video, and I really don't want to go into explaining what it is in this video again, because it's a lot to explain. So if you don't know what the Kalamos Mythos is, if you don't know what the Cuckoo Universe is, they're the same thing, then go check out my video on that. Links in the description. There might be a little card thing. This is very much a sequel to that video, so please watch that video first, or else you will be lost going into this video. Alright, you watched that video, you come back, you came back? Excellent. Let's get into the update. So since we released the Cuckoo Universe / the Kalamos Mythos to the public in 2018, quite a bit has happened. Now, it's always been the style of the Cuckoo Universe to do things based on how comic universes do their things, with multiple series and interweaving events and characters that jump from series to series to sort of set up a timeline. But ultimately, when you have a story that's around the length of Gone with the Wind, it can get confusing as to what order you should read everything in. So, in the year 2019, this is weird because I'm giving out of universe lore now, in the year 2019, I decided to streamline the reading experience for the Kalamos Mythos. What was once like 50 different series, some that were 2 chapters long, some that were like 50 chapters long, what was originally a whole network of series, I synthesized into 2 series. And those were the Kalamos Mythos, which is a confusing title because it's titled the Kalamos Mythos and set in the universe called the Kalamos Mythos. There's the Kalamos Mythos, and then there's the Kalamos Mythos, the Decennium Compendium. We're going to talk about what those 2 series are here today. So, being a series I've been working on since kindergarten, there is a wide range of quality in the Kalamos Mythos. Not only is there a wide range of quality, but like some stuff I think is just unreadable. For example, most of them at the beginning were comics, and before I moved to Japan I couldn't bring the comics with me, so I had to hastily transcribe them into transcriptions. Yeah. And as transcriptions, it's unreadable. Like, really, I know what happens in the comics, so I can glance that in and say, oh yeah, that's what happened. But it's kind of unreadable for someone who's just going into it, so it can get confusing as to how to read the Kalamos Mythos. So that's where the 2 series come in. 2019 was the year I said, alright, let's synthesize things down into 1 series. Instead of having like 5 different series running at the same time, we're going to have one title, the Kalamos Mythos. That's going to be every story that I write here in the year 2019, and I make the series in 2019, and the stories in universe take place in 2019 and onward. So we start with Kalamos Mythos Chapter 1 and move forward from there. Now, it is part of the same continuity. In fact, it's very continuity heavy, but it's also written from the perspective of bringing in new readers. So a new reader should theoretically be able to pick up with Kalamos Mythos Chapter 1 and read on from there, because there will be little narration points, context that will be given, character profiles after each chapter that will fill you in on what you missed. So that's 2019 and onwards, the Kalamos Mythos series. But what about all the stuff that led up to it? What about the 15 years of writing I did before 2019? Well, that's where the Kalamos Mythos The Decennium Compendium comes in. Basically, I took all my Kalamos Mythos stories before 2019 and organized them in a spreadsheet, a very large spreadsheet. And I made notes on what stories that I should have written by now, but I haven't written it yet. Where would they go? In a massive, essential reading order. A reading order that is a mix between chronological in-universe order and publication order. It's a logical order. You won't be spoiled by accidental information in the prequels, stuff like that. It's a very logical order. So if you read all that stuff in that order, everything will make sense. But some stories are unwritten, for one. Some stories are just transcripts. It's not a very good reading experience. So to fix that, the Kalamos Mythos The Decennium Compendium takes that order of stories in that spreadsheet and revises and expands upon them so they're actual stories that can be read. I'm not saying they're good, mind you. I'm saying that they can be read. They're in a readable state. The main focus of the Decennium Compendium isn't to be good, it's to take all those years of stories and put them in a presentable format. So I take those comic transcripts and expand them into actual chapters that you can read. Now, I have a few rules for myself when I'm making these Decennium Compendium chapters. One, I can't change the plot, I can't change the characters, and I can't change the dialogue. What I can do is insert. I can never take away, I can only insert. So I can insert scenes between scenes. I can insert lines of dialogue that weren't there before, in between lines of dialogue that already existed, all to make things make more sense and make it less obvious that a kindergartner wrote it. I don't know how well I succeeded at that. The term Decennium Compendium is a bit of a play on words. There are 10 years of in-universe continuity before 2019. A majority of Kalamos Mythos stories take place starting from the year 2008. So that means if the Kalamos Mythos series, the title Kalamos Mythos, starts at 2019, that means before the Decennium Compendium is the years 2008 to 2018, a period of 10 years, I think. Although technically January 1st, 2008 to January 1st, 2018 is 10 years. But this goes all the way to the end of 2018, so it's really 11 years, but nobody tell me that. Decennium means 10 years. Compendium means collection. We're collecting all these stories from the 10, really 11 years of in-universe continuity, and we're compendiuming them. So that brings you to two series. The Kalamos Mythos, which is the year 2019 and onward, and the Kalamos Mythos The Decennium Compendium, which is the year 2008 until 2018. All these chapters are collected into novel-sized collections. Collected into collections. I am not good at speaking. The Kalamos Mythos, the main series, currently has 2 volumes out right now. Volume 1, Groundwork, and Volume 2, STONEQUEST. The chapters that will be collected into Volume 3 are being released. We do release in a chapter-by-chapter format. Usually I'll let you know on Twitter when I release a new chapter. And then once I reach the end of a story arc, I take all the chapters that I haven't collected yet and collect them into that volume. One larger PDF that includes all the chapters. So yeah, Kalamos Mythos has 2 volumes out right now. Volume 1, Groundwork, Volume 2, STONEQUEST. The Decennium Compendium collects their issues, their chapters, I'm still in a comic mindset, collects its chapters by year, which means it goes the Kalamos Mythos, the Decennium Compendium 2008, and then the next volume is 2009, and then the next volume is 2010, all the way up until the last volume in the series, 2018. Now, how many volumes have been released of the Decennium Compendium so far? Just two. 2008 and 2009 are available to read right now. I'm currently working on the chapters that will become 2010. Now you might think, oh, this is collecting chapters that already came out, right? Well, because I'm still in the process of revising them and expanding them. And there are huge chunks of stories that I haven't finished yet that I plan on finishing for the Decennium Compendium. That sort of stuff. So it does take a while for the Decennium Compendium to come out. But 2 volumes, 2008 and 2009, are released. Now you might be asking, Radix, where do I start reading the Kalamos Mythos? And I'm going to make it simple for you. If you're the type of person who can jump into a universe, don't know any of the characters, don't know any of the events, don't know the history of this universe, but you're able to read and sort of catch up by listening to the dialogue and what's written, you can read between the lines and get an idea of what's going on. If you're the type of reader that's like that, you're okay not knowing 100% of what's going on, but you'll slowly learn more over time. Start with the Kalamos Mythos Volume 1 Groundwork. That's meant to be a new reader jumping on point. It is the current flagship title. That's where you start. Just keep in mind that it's after 15 years of continuity, but it is written with the intention of being a new reader jump on point. If you're the type of person that wants to know everything, that wants to go into a universe at the beginning and start from there, consuming as much lore as possible, learning as much about this universe as possible, you really aren't that good at jumping into a story in the middle of everything. If you're that type of person and you have to know everything, start with the Kalamos Mythos, the Decennium Compendium, 2008. That will take you to the very beginning. Now I will say, Groundwork I consider to be good. I consider it to be the best, because I wrote it in 2019, so I consider it that's the best I am right now with my writing, with the current Kalamos Mythos series. The Decennium Compendium might not be so good. The Decennium Compendium is just a collection of stories I've written since kindergarten, so don't expect the most quality out of it. For those of you who start with Groundwork, once you finish Groundwork, move on to the Kalamos Mythos Volume 2, STONEQUEST. And I don't want to give too much information here because I don't want to burden you guys with information you won't need, or I don't want to intimidate anyone into not reading it. So I'll just give you, if you're starting with Groundwork, read Groundwork and then read STONEQUEST. And then by that point, if you don't know where to go next, comment in the comment section. Hey, Radix, I've read Groundwork, I've read STONEQUEST, what do I read now? For those of you who start with 2008, once you finish 2008, it's simple, move on to 2009. And I don't want to confuse it with going any further than that. If you finish 2008 and 2009 and want to keep reading, leave a comment saying, okay, Radix, what do I do now? One possible way to read the Kalamos Mythos is to start with Groundwork, start with the Kalamos Mythos series, read up into the most recent chapter, and then read the Kalamos Mythos on a chapter-by-chapter basis whenever a new chapter releases, but also going back and reading the Decennium Compendium. It's like starting at chapter 18, then 19, and 20, and no more chapters have been released at that point, so then going back and starting at number 1 to sort of get more information, like using the Kalamos Mythos series as a way to jump into the universe, and then you use the Decennium Compendium to sort of fill in the gaps of what you didn't know about the universe. That's a possible way to read the series. So why am I releasing this video? Because I haven't released a video updating you on the state of the Kalamos Mythos since 2018, and quite a bit has changed in the status quo. We're no longer multiple series every which way. It's now just 2 series, Kalamos Mythos and Kalamos Mythos the Decennium Compendium. Simple and clean is the way that you're making me feel tonight. It's hard to let it go. Also, I want to make a few more videos on the Kalamos Mythos on this channel. For example, we just released the 2009 volume. And I'm thinking, oh, what if someone read the 2008 volume and hadn't been keeping up until this 2009 volume released? What if they forgot what happened in 2008 and they can't reread it all? Reread a novel-sized volume to get into 2009. Well, I can make a YouTube video that recaps the events of the previous volume that was released, so I can hype up the release of a new volume by releasing a YouTube video recapping what happened in the last volume. By the way, I have to say that I have seen a lot of support for the Kalamos Mythos on this channel. Whenever I release an audiobook set in the Kalamos Mythos universe, you guys are very positive about it, and thank you for that. Thank you for supporting my writing. In fact, since the Kalamos Mythos Decennium Compendium 2009 just came out, I might release a 2008 recap soon. Might be my next video I record. And then maybe people who aren't sure if they want to jump into the Kalamos Mythos, but they watch a recap video and hear what's going on in it and think, oh, that doesn't sound too bad, or oh, this sounds ridiculous, I want to see what's going on. I think that's the reaction we'll get most of the time. Someone saying, oh wow, that's ridiculous, I have to see this for myself, it sounds so stupid. But that could be a good thing to do recap videos. I'm rambling at this point. I've told you how to read. Either jump in with Groundwork or start at the beginning with 2008. And, move on to the next volume from there. Comment if you've read all the stuff I've mentioned. If you want to know where to go to next, what this video hasn't talked about, I'll let you know in the comment section. And thank you for reading. And that's going to wrap up this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to this channel if you have not yet. Follow me on social media. All the links are in the description. Support me on Patreon if you want to go that far. And have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Beep. Beep. I never end a video with beep.